Hopefully this is all working. Hello everyone, I'm Iron Phoenix and welcome to Fortresscraft Evolved, a game that's apparently so unknown that YouTube has forgotten it exists, so I can't add it as the game for the stream today. Which is weird because I've streamed this game before and I seem to remember it being on there. But anyway, it's weird actually that the latest one is on there, the one that's not been released yet, but the old one from 2015 isn't. Weird. Anyway, hello, welcome to Fortresscraft Evolved. This is a game about building factories. In fact, I think, not entirely sure, but I think this might be the first sort of game about building factories that was spawned from Buildcraft. People might think it's Factorio. I don't believe it is. I think this one did actually come out first. Certainly one of the first 3D ones, as you can probably see. It's very 2015. Right, I'm going to be doing some work down in Poison Caverns today. That's kind of, but I will sort of give you a little bit of a rundown of what's going on. It looks like a lot, but it's not. Well, it is, except it's not. Basically, Fortresscraft Evolved is about building factories on a world, nearly infinite world, apparently. And it's all made by like one person, maybe like it's a very, very small team anyway. This is proper sort of old school indie development. Built in Unity. And what you do is you start from basically nothing, and you build a factory, and this is the surface stuff. For the most part, stuff can be built underground, but things like the ore smelters and the coal generators, they don't work very well underground. They have diminished output until they stop working entirely. And I said to say underground. Yes, this is the map. Let me just turn my thing off. So this is the map. It is a 3D map that shows you where you've built everything. So I've gone down quite far, and I've kind of gone over a bit far as well. So this is the old factory. New factory will be over here, and that's kind of what I'm currently working on, building the new factory, because the old factory isn't cutting it. I've probably made some mistakes. It's not as efficient as it could be. Yes, I do have a quarry. It's not working? I thought those dug down forever. It isn't digging down forever. It's stopped working, and it's got power. Oh, yeah. No, it does dig down forever. It's just that I've run out of space. Do I have any? Ooh, I do. Can probably go out to about there. Let's not dig big holes in the floor. And just put that one there. Just give it a bit of extra space. I do need to kind of like do something about this because this is just copper, and don't really need copper for loads of things. It's just that there was a copper vein in the way, so that's currently eating through that. We've also got something called rooms. I need to build more rooms, really. Rooms basically will improve performance because I can stuff things into rooms, and because it won't be rendering it. It'll be a little bit lighter on the processor and RAM and all that sort of fun stuff. So here, I don't know why necessarily. Oh, I've probably got some rack rails actually that I do need to. So this is the site of the new factory. So we've got a hive mind over there, which will be the source of resin. I will need to feed that to help it grow. Ryzen is sort of the backbone of quite a lot of power generation systems that I should really be using, but I'm not. And then all of this nonsense is just to get these. Oh, I only had two. This is a cargo lift. I put rack rails in there, and as long as it's got a nice clear shaft, which it should do, it will build rails down to, I think this needs to go down to 550-ish. It'd be 553, I think, is the rise of this. So it's currently down to about 300 meters down. The maximum depth of this game is 1,000 meters down, and I'm about to go down. I think I just need to see where we're at with rails and track. This is all part of the sort of the big. There we go. It's running now. There are. This is also a bit of a tower defense game. There are enemies that spawn every so often, and they will try to attack that. Mostly at the moment they're winning, as far as I'm concerned. They turn up, they blow that thing up. My defenses are not good. They do need to be better, but I'm currently dealing with everything else at the moment. So yeah, I do need them to be better though, because you do get some quite good stuff off those enemies. There are other enemies in the game. There are the mimics, which crawl around underground, and they try to steal your power. There's the Mylox, I think they're called. They kind of sit on underground belts, conveyor belts, and they eat your resources, and then they that's what feeds the hive minds. And over there, I've got a hive mind which is currently being destroyed for its resin. And they've kind of got this weird sort of brain thing in the middle of them. So I think this one is being fed. I'm not entirely sure. I have some Mylox in the base that are currently fits by. Oh yeah, no, I have to make the cannons. Spiderbot is over there somewhere. He is sort of a defender. So the hive mind thing. Yeah, no, that one's not being fed really at the moment. I've got a lot of things that I need to do basically, and there is certainly a need to automate stuff, but it's a little bit different. Something like Satisfactory that did do an awful lot of work in trying to mitigate some of the some construction elements. You could build blueprints and then sort of dump them down, and it would all sort of, it was fine. Right, that one is very slowly doing missile defense. That one doesn't have a lot of power, which is why it's running slow, and that one is doing that. The over here is just where I've got my research pods. So I will just top them up before I go. Like that. And like that. And I will dump those ones in there as well. Right. Should have some of these. We can go down to. Okay, that's perfect. That's fine. Right. I think we can. That means we can go down. One last thing I will do before I go down. I do remember I did need to make a load station. There we go. All right. Let's go down. So. This game did an awful lot of things right. It didn't manage to do everything that it set out to do, but it did do a lot of things right. The ability, for example, to just place down a block, and as long as you feed it power, it does the thing that you want it to do. So when I was digging out these tunnels, I'd dig down. I'd then place a work floor excavator and carve out these areas here, and then use an auto excavator to dig a tunnel up, a 3x3 tunnel up, so that I could get proper power down into the various levels. And everything just sort of works automatically as long as you set it up correctly. The deeper you go, for example, over here, conveyors won't work down here. It's too cold, so you do need to use the tubes. But the tubes also can't have Mylock thingamajigs grow on them, so they can't eat your resources. But sometimes you might want that to happen, so you can just place normal conveyor belts down a little bit lower, and that will provide food to the hive minds, and that will grow resin. It has been thought out very well, and I think this is sort of it is a very good lesson in games design. It works mostly. There's a few things that like the tower defense mechanics for the wasps up the top. There's no downside to it not to a weak defense. Right, so this one needs to go into here. Where are we? Oh yeah, it's down on F7. Oh, there we go. So we will do that. Just gonna clear out these tubes. Right, the tubes are cleared out. It needs to go down by 1, I think. Tubes are here somewhere. Oh, please don't. I forgot. I'll use that one for now. And I do know I've got tubes because I've just picked a whole load of them up. I may not have a slot for them because I would have probably taken them out for something else. Excellent. That's set up there. This looks really, really cool. I love how the toxic caverns and the cold caverns look, because you have this sort of everything's very dark unless you light it up. Lights look really good, and you just kind of have these little bits of neon, little bits of just your workings that you can see just off in the distance. It's very it's kind of eerie and kind of puts me in the mindset of something like Black Mesa. You know, this sort of forgotten, you know, these sort of forgotten areas of Black Mesa, I guess. The sort of stuff that's a little bit more hidden away, maybe. Right, I will turn the lights on a bit, though. Right. That's that side done. This will not be finished with this. This is gonna need a lot of rails. But when this is completed, basically what's going to happen is, right, so down, the reason why I did it down here is those flashing red lights there, that little area down there. This place is stuffed full of ores and biomass, and I'm going to need them all. So I'm going to want minecarts that run through all of this. And the whole point of it is that they're just sort of getting the ore out, getting it into minecarts, and getting it to the surface through the use of a cargo lift. And so that's basically what I'm doing, is I'm just making sure that this area feels about right for stuff. So I want the reinforced concrete walls as a walkway to walk on, because this actually improves my movement speed. Whereas if I'm on the has, it does actually slow me down a little bit, and it doesn't go all the way. I need all this titanium. There's nickel down here. There's gold. I think there might be some iron over there. Basically, there's a whole bunch of just ores down here that I want to get all of it to the surface, and so it's kind of the way to do it. I've got routes down even further. In fact, I've gone all the way down to the bottom, actually. Oh, there's a horde. Let me just also fix this. It's been sort of mildly annoying me. Obviously, once the drills have extracted all the ore vanishes, so you end up with sort of these big sort of chasms as you're sort of starting to mine your way through stuff. However, I mean, if I just scan this tin vein, yeah, there's 8.83 million tin ore in there, so you know it's going to take a little while. The drills can be upgraded with drill bits and motors to kind of make extraction faster. You know, it's been wonderfully thought out, this game. And there's a new one coming. He's missed his deadline a few times now, which is fine because nobody's sort of. You know, I think there's some Patreon people who might have copies of it. Only it's all very sort of hush hush at the moment as to what's actually in there, but. He does want to put it into. They want to put it into early access. Well, they wanted to do it last year, but the game wasn't ready, which is fine because this is one of these games of just, you know, if it's not ready, then just hold it back for a little bit until it is. It is a really, really good. This one. It's just Fortresscraft Evolved from 2015, I believe. It is a really good game, and I've no doubt that Phoenix will be as good, if not better, as long as it's given the time to sort of brew. Because I think that there's a few things in this game that didn't get finished. Not to say the game's not finished, it's just that there were some features that didn't sort of make it to ever being complete. The clean rooms, for example, you know, the idea that some of the rooms, if you've kind of fitted it with the right stuff, might be an improvement to sort of machine use. A few other things like is it the BFG? I don't know, I've got it somewhere in here. This thing may not work. It's a mothballed item, so it's not really intended to work, but it was designed for digging horizontal shafts, which there isn't that ability that I know of. There's vertical shafts, but not necessarily horizontal, beyond just using your work floor excavators, which are fine in a radius, but what I want is something that I can use to bore minecart tunnels, and I don't think there's that ability in the game. I mean, there might be an item at some point later on. I've never actually completed this game. Right, let's see if I've got any. Not one. What's happened with me iron? I reckon that me trying to speed up my iron has caused it to run out of power. Yes. I was trying to speed up the iron thing, so I put a forced induction in there to speed it up. And yeah, it's just bled it dry for power. So that's not good. I need to sort out my iron supply and my power facilities. I mean, I've got the power to do it. I just need to upgrade these lasers, really. Right, fine. Let's see if we can upgrade those lasers. Lasers is the sort of the way that you transmit power. They don't hurt. You can walk through them. They're just power generator. Yes, I could have, for all this time, just used better laser transmitters down here. So there's a sort of a white laser, which is just your basic laser, which you replace as soon as you can, unless there's a reason to just not, like this one. These are just basic energy transmitters. I've not bothered replacing them because they're just for minor sort of things like tin. What is that tin vein doing anyway? Yeah, there's another 7,000 in there. That's day one tin vein, that is. Alright, let's upgrade these. And the way we upgrade them is we work out which one we need to pull out. Which is this one. Why did I put it on that one? That could have been a catastrophe. Let's put it onto this one instead. And wait, where's me? Let me just. I thought I had another one of these. Let me just make another one. There's also a purple one, which I've got one over there, which is the biggest single block one, which kind of indicates that there might be some big multi-block ones, because the game does do multi-blocks as well. Like, so this is a multi-block for an NG cube, which I'm in the process of building, but there's been other things that have needed to be built. Just build a few of those. So these are the big blue ones. And I am also going to make sure we've got lenses in these. These are just crude lenses, but they do increase the maximum transfer a little bit. You can't with lenses. There's a whole bunch of different ones basically, and the better the laser, the better the lens, the more it will affect the laser. And right, could I now put a forced induction on that? Will it not work? Because I kind of need the see. Maybe. Looks like it's keeping up. Because this one's just nickel, and I don't need to force induction. That's gold. Most stuff is going into here, but yeah, no, that's fine. Oh, this is the report that just comes up every hour or however long. I usually just say every hour, just that it's not in the way. Right, so that's now doing iron. I'll see if there's any more nickel stuff. Which is over here. There's quite a range on your ability to click on things in this. If you can see it, you can probably click on it and open up the inventory, like over there. There's 7 rack rails there that I've just yanked out of there. it's a very sort of quite casual experience in that regard. Right, I need to put these alloyed machine blocks into here. I am hoping to get the rail system working today. I may not get the rack rails done, especially not if I keep making more when I don't need to, because I've got some on me. Just wait for these ones to do and then go down there and I think it's just one more. There we go. Right, back down we go. Maybe at some point Space Engineers will come back. I stopped playing Space Engineers. I should know. Kind of waiting for them to start adding more stuff. I don't care about water, and why am I seeing them work on water when they've not actually finished? I am constantly reminded about the pitfalls of playing a Keen game. In that they'll, do something good, like they'll do the survival mode, have some fun with that. And then in the dev updates, they'll start talking about things that aren't coming soon. They'll start teasing things that are still a year or two away. And they'll say, oh, we're working on contracts. Well, what good is working on contracts if there's no reason to do them? If it doesn't give you any sort of reward for doing it. So the first contracts you do, they do give you something. I mean, they unlock blocks, and they slowly introduce you to the game. Great. And then they added more contracts in the next system, and it's just like, well, I'm just going to this system, and there's nothing here. There's nothing new to unlock here. I am just doing these things and going through the process of doing these things. I want to play with more stuff, but I can't because they've got distracted again and they've wandered off and gone off to do something else. Bit of a pitfall of the Engineers games. Though I did see, I can't remember his name, a YouTuber anyway did a sort of a breakdown of what happened with Medieval Engineers, and the what all of that sort of ended up into, and it is a bit of a shame what happened there. But my hope is that everything that they did for Medieval Engineers could, at some point, come into Space Engineers. That's the hope, anyway. I'm not entirely sold on if that's going to be the case. I think I may have actually just completed this. I'm going to just do a walk around of this. That's all connected up. Might actually be able to deploy the okay, I don't have the stuff to make that. Not yet, anyway. Right. This is all connected. Yeah. I'm going to have to fill this with cards. I wasn't actually expecting to get this done so quickly. Yes, thought this would take me a little bit longer, but oh well. Right, so get the minecart on. Where are you? Where are you? Hold on. There it is. So that's the minecart. I'm going to need more of these. I may also get freighters on here instead. I'm not entirely sure yet. But what happens is this thing goes along and it will go up to this. It'll have its fill of everything that's in that hopper. It's holding biomass, and I think it can carry 25 units. There it goes. And while that does that, I will just charge that. That's a slime, it's fine. Now, these are not particularly fast. I can get fast carts. Hold on, let me just have a quick look at the help. And it was in... It's one that I did recently. Improved minecarts, here we go. So I can make a fast minecart, max storage of 25, but it does have a faster speed. Okay. Yeah, and we've kind of got all these as well, which basically I can build rail logistics networks underground with minecarts, which seems like a thing that I can do and something that I probably will do. Yes, I mean the gates. Oh yeah, so this is the help thing. This is absolutely wild. I really like this because, okay, so I want help about a torch. Well, there you go. You got complete contextual help of everything. The thing I mostly use it for is the research. Knowing what I should go for next and what it's going to require. This will get me the ability to knock down orbital debris. I don't know why I'm going to necessarily need to do that. I think that might be a way of me getting more research points, which would be very useful. But I'm not entirely sure. I think I may have gone that far once. I'm just running along the side of this just to make sure that the cart does get to its destination. Make sure there's no weird breaks in the track or anything that is going to stop it. Mostly because over here, I did want to make sure that it was going to be fine, because over here I've kind of got this odd bit here where it's it doesn't alternate the colours, so technically all this stuff would be backwards. So I did just want to make sure that wasn't going to cause some problems, but it seems to be fine. Another bit here where it's all sort of reversed, just because I've been placing them back and forth, and I'm not going to go down and change them all unless I absolutely have to. So that one will need to be set up with with all the stuff that is needed. Not entirely sure how I'm going to do that one yet. Might be able to put it on at the top. Hold on. Does it tell me where I can place these? It doesn't. It's fine. I do also like the minecarts have these red lights. Everything is very neon. That's kind of how I kind of see this game. You know, you've got your lasers, you've got, you know, your bright lights in, you know, pinpricks in the darkness. So I think once we've got a few minecarts running on here, this is going to look quite good. We're going to need quite a few because all these load stations are going to be wanting stuff. Yeah, I've got 2 gold ore veins down there and gold ore biomass. And I've got a whole bunch of unload stations as well. It's the other reason why I do just want to walk along next to the minecart and just let it. And it's got a single front light as well, which is very cool. It's weird to think that this is a game from 2015. It's got quite a lot of very good ideas behind it. And hopefully this will all work. I don't know, you know, I don't know if it's necessarily gonna not like the fact that that one does look like it's backwards. Nope, it's all good. Okay, we're fine then. That will go back and just start getting more stuff. Now, why is this not unloading? See, this is where we need to. Waiting cart station empty. Okay. Why has it got nothing in it? Do these need to be next to them? No, it says station empty, so where did it go? Good question here. Okay. Oh wait, no, it was that one, wasn't it? Oh right. That one's just not plugged in. That's what the problem is. That's fine then. I can put all this back together and fix that. This is why we do our dry runs. Gonna grab a whole bunch of these. And I'm able to just not all the way. I don't quite have the resources to do it all the way, but that's fine. Right, so that works. That bit works. Fine. Next bit is to get that running all the way down. And to check on this. Not all the way yet. So, I need a way of getting power down here. So the power will come down from the top. And it'll basically be blasted down here with the best stuff that I can muster, so that I can get everything plugged into the grid, basically. Right, I'm gonna run back and up the top. It's probably going to be a short one today, actually. I need to get that roadway in there. I'm thinking like a big sort of archway type thing, maybe. Once I've got the construction pace to spare, and if I just need to go and build something, then I'll sort of clean up all of this, because it does need a bit of a clean up and sort of turning into something a little bit more resembling a tube station. Is the plan anyway. And access down here as well. That will be the third one that I'm going to be dealing with. Getting a teleporter down there would be a very good idea. I can do that, but I need the power down there to begin with, and then I'll probably put teleporters in. Alright, well that's that done. If I've got the rack rails to finish up the last little bit, I will, but I may cease in streaming in a moment. Okay. There's a lot of just going. I really do need to get teleporters set up. And this is one of those games where I've got about 6, 7, 8 projects running all at the same time, and you know, like the power system needs to be dealt with, the defense system needs to be dealt with, transportation, just everything needs to kind of be dealt with. But I'm kind of stuck because everything kind of needs to be done in a certain order, unfortunately. Like that quarry is going to be very useful if I can get it, you know, really sort of fueled up with lots of storage, and lots of support for it. But I'm not there yet. Right. Rack rail, see how that's doing, and I'll probably end for now. Rack rails are there. Got a few. Do have a few. So this is going to be quarry central here, and then new factory will go in over there. Starting with a refinery. It'll have some very basic sort of power systems, like this coal vein will need to be eaten up and sent through. This will be another sort of minecart system, and I believe I can actually have sort of player controllable minecarts as well. So I can actually just sit in one, which would be rather useful, especially as the factory gets bigger. Currently all the underground power is served by this, which isn't really great. Or the other thing that I do need to do is actually dig up here. I was going to say, there we go. So I want to put a solar panel on top of this, but unfortunately it's currently in a mountain, so that's not very good, and it does need to see the sky, unlike other games where you can just basically shove your solar panels down wherever and it doesn't actually matter. It does actually matter for this game. Unfortunately, where it actually came up was in the middle of a mountain. I wasn't entirely sure where it would end up. Hold on, what am I doing? Hold on. I can do this a little bit better than the way that I'm doing it now. I can do that, and I can do that. because I don't want it to steal the power. And then I can do, oh, where's my, it's in use at the moment. Right, I don't have that thing. I can make one though, and I can also make a crafting device so that I can have one down here as well. I'll do that quickly. Oh dear. So yeah, so the top of that shaft will have one of these on top, solar panel, Mark IIs. These can only be fitted on certain devices. So I've got one on the reactor vat. Or refinery, or whatever it's actually called. The crafting. So it's a manufacturing plant I want. Which I'm not sure what it's under. I can do a search, but the search bar sometimes sort of breaks a bit. And so I try not to use it if I can avoid it. Here is it. Won't be in there. Oh yeah, it'll be in here, I think, somewhere. Manufacturing plant. I need one of them, and I need my clearing thing. Auto excavator. One of them. And can I actually make the last little bits of the lithium cells? Is what I need. Stocking up on these is usually a good idea anyway. Wait, I've got no lithium coming through. Why do I? Well, I've got the reason why I'll have no lithium coming through is because this is stacked full of stuff. And so, if I've got any lithium, I've got no power. No, I've got power. Oh, what the? Move only, add only. Yeah, sometimes it will stick things. If it runs out of space in this one, and if you haven't set it to remove from that one and then add to that one, it will stuff things into the wrong place. Right, I can fix this by just going into here and just putting all my lithium into the correct one. However, that won't be done for the moment. I will just go and place my manufacturing plant down over here. Not this one, the next one. I should probably have one here eventually as well. So it's a long way to do. Currently, I think I've got a few just kind of scattered around. It's not quite on the same level as in Minecraft, where I will have one every few feet. Usually because I can't be bothered to walk over to one. They're so cheap anyway. Whereas they're a little bit more complicated in this. So you can just build stuff in this. Right. I need to put this stuff up here. And so that goes up there. I now need to work out how to get some power into here. Should be. There we go. So we need to just there, and then something like that will be fine. There we go. So that's just gonna put a hole up through there. Means I don't have to manually dig it. And so it's going to be going up through here. Fair enough. Well, when the other one gets done as well, I'm going to have to stick another one in about there-ish. That'll be less bad, I think. Just using the grappling hook to get off there without injury. Right, so that's done. This one will need to be done. I need to do something with this, so I'll just quickly do that now. May seem a bit strange to do, but I do just need some power. It's easier to do it this way. Right. I think for now, though, I'm going to finish up. So with that, I will say thank you very much for watching. This may be back, but I'll see you next time.